Alright Tenno, sit back, grab a massive bowl of popcorn, get comfortable or into an endless void relic mission and relax, because today this is officially a 20-minute yapping session. We are going deep down into the rabbit hole of Warframe's biggest problem, Endgame and Consequence. But before we jump into this massive rant and brainstorm, do me a quick favor, hit that subscribe button right now. I spend the same amount of time editing as playing the game. And if you love the deep dive Warframe discussions, hot takes and guides, clicking that button helps me out more than you know. Drop a like as well so the algorithm pushes this directly to digital extremes. Now, let me start today's yap with a personal confession that might sound a bit unhinged. Lately, I've been playing an unhealthy amount of Perita Rebellion, that's why it's the B-roll here, and if you want to know the absolute funniest part about it, I don't need a single item from that mission. I am running Perita Rebellion purely 100% because it is damn fun. It made me realize something fundamental about this community. Warframe players don't just play for shiny loot, we play for gameplay loops that are dynamic, wide, engaging and actually make us feel like space ninjas. We want something where we can log in with our squad on a Friday night, play for 3 hours straight and not feel like we're just hitting a brainless loot simulator. But right now the game is way too safe. Look at Plague Star. Everyone farms Plague Star because of the formas. But what happens if the community just decides to go on strike and not play? Nothing. The timer ticks down, 2 weeks pass, the event ends, DE hands out a participation trophy and we go back staring at our orbital wall. There are zero stakes. So today I'm pitching my complete blueprint for a high stakes Domino-Effect endgame warfare event, featuring dynamic planet invasions, branching outcomes, planet lockdowns, legendary cores and real consequences. So let's be completely real with each other. What do you actually do in Warframe once you reach legendary rank or MR30? You min-max a weapon, slap 5 formas on it, put 5 Tau Forge Archon shards into a frame and then you go test it on level 100 Simaris dummies or run a Netrocell in 6 minutes flat. And then what? You wait for the next update while your 5 forma stag sits in the arsenal crying for attention. Especially during mid-year content drought, like August, the game just feels quiet. There is no major event, no global war, nothing uniting the community. And why is that? Because Warframe events are designed with a massive safety net. DE is terrified of letting the player base fail, but in video games, without the threat of failure, victory feels completely meaningless. Think about games like Helldivers 2 or old school Warframe operations like Tube Men of Regor or Gradivus Dilemma. When the community is actually fighting against the global clock and risking something real, the Discord servers lighting up, Twitch streams explode and suddenly everyone is logging in because they feel part of a real galactic war. And listen, DE, if you're watching this and thinking, man, that sounds cool but we don't have the dev time for this right now, I will volunteer. I'm dead serious. I will literally jump on Zoom, help design the questlines, test the spawns, balance the reward pools and work for free just to see something like this happen in the game. We just want to see Warframe reach its full endgame potential. So how do we bring this high stake feeling back? We don't just launch a temporary mission node, we put an entire planet on the line. Here's how the event kicks off. It's a random Tuesday, no major dev stream warning, and suddenly a red emergency alert flares across navigation. Pluto is under siege, a brand new hyper-aggressive enemy threat, whether it's a Void Corrupted faction, Archon Armada or a teaser for an Iceblade entity drops out of void space and locks down Pluto. The event lasts 7 to 10 days. The enemy establishes a global invasion control meter at 100%. The community's job is to push that meter down to 0% through high-tier tactical frontline missions. Now, instead of boring linear outcome where we win no matter what, this event features 4 branching scenarios based on how well or how poorly the community performs. Scenario A, the perfect defense, 0% enemy control in under 4 days. If the community loses their minds, coordinates flawlessly and completely crushes the invasion under 4 days, Pluto is liberated instantly. Every single player who contributed to the frontline gets an exclusive event ephemera and a guaranteed legendary core, or something totally new or something else, whatever. Scenario B, the narrow victory, 0% enemy control in 7 to 10 days. We barely push the enemy off Pluto before the timer expires. Pluto is saved, but the planet suffers from residual incursions for the next 2 weeks, meaning random level 200 Eximus squads will spawn in normal Pluto missions, but we keep access to all nodes and get standard event rewards. Scenario C, the defeat and planet lockdown. Enemy control over 50% when the timer expires. We slacked off, people were too busy fashion framing in the relay, squads failed their missions and the timer ran out. Pluto is fully locked down for 30 days. No bosses, no dark sector farms, no relic nodes on Pluto for a whole month front until infrastructure is repaired. Scenario D, the domino effect, the ultimate nightmare. If the scenario C happens and Pluto stays locked for 30 days, the enemy uses Pluto as a standing ground to attack Neptune or Eris, whatever. Now Neptune is under siege, and here's the kicker: you cannot unlock Pluto unless you successfully defend and liberate Neptune first. Just think about how insane scenario D is. We keep failing, the corruption spreads planet by planet across the star chart like a living galaxy map. You can't just wait for a server reset, we have to fight our way back. So what does the Frontline mission actually feel like to play? Like I said about Perita Rebellion, it has to be fun first. We don't want a small cramped mobile defense room where you just stand in a core, a dome or Vobom vortex and stare at the timer for 5 minutes while checking your phone. That is outdated game design. We need a wide, semi-open, multi-objective battlefield. You drop onto Pluto's ice field or a massive Corpus flagship tileset. The map is split into 3 dynamic frontline scenarios: Alpha, Beta and Gamma. Alpha, orbital strike zone, heavy enemy artillery is pounding the area. You need tank frames like Rhino, Inaros or Kullervo holding capture spires while dodging massive orbital laser strikes that will literally melt your shield gating if you miss a timing. Sector Beta, nullifier matrix, energy drain fields and nullifier domes cover the area. High speed melee builds, Gauss, Volt and Science frames need to sprint in, disable generator hubs and clear commanders. Sector Gamma, defensive network. Automated turrets need to be hacked, repaired and defended against endless waves of 300 plus enemies. You and your squad have to consistently move, communicate and rotate across the map. It's high mobility, high intensity and pure parkour combat where you can easily play for 3 hours straight. Look at the clock and go, holy crap, it's 3 AM already. Because the stakes are so ridiculously high, the mission rules are brutal. Base enemy level starts at steel path level 250 to 300 plus. Enemies have heavy Eximus overguard and void environmental hazards. Limited revives, you only get 1 self-revive per team member. If your squad vibes, you lose the sector and the enemy control meter regions by 2%. You can't sleepwalk through this. You have to bring your best 5 forma builds, your Archon shards, your Spectres, your team synergies. Every single run actually matters. Let's address the elephant in the room that every YouTuber commentary is going to scream about. Gatekeeping. The main frontline war mission on Pluto is hard locked behind the steel path and high mastery rank, like MR30 or MR20 plus or MR25, whatever you wanna go with. People ask, why are you locking newer players out of the main event? That's toxic. Hear me out, let's be completely honest with ourselves. Right now in Warframe, if you're MR12 or MR15, what's your actual motivation to reach MR30 or unlock the steel path? Think about it. And also players in MR12, MR15, those players already have enough things to do to get to the endgame. They are not currently in the endgame. People who are above, I would say maybe 25th mastery rank or maybe even 30 mastery rank are actually in the endgame. Think about it. An MR15 player with an incarnate weapon can beat 99% of the content in the game. There's no major endgame wall that makes mid-game players say, damn, I need to level up my account, clean my star chart and build proper gear so I can participate in that epic war. By locking the frontline war behind high MR and steel path, max level syndicates, it creates prestige. It gives newer players a massive, exciting long-term goal to strive toward, but we don't leave new players in the cold. That brings us to the supply line system. While veterans are fighting on the front line in steel path, lower MR players get access to special supply raid missions on normal difficulty nodes around Pluto's moons. Low-level players gather war supplies, ammo crates, fuel cells, medical packs, energy cores and ship them into the front line. Look at how cool this synergy is. Every time a new player completes a supply raid, it grants real-time global buffs to veterans on the front line, like 30% ammo efficiency, extra revive charges or lower energy costs. It fills a secondary progress bar that floods low MR players with built formas, no 23-hour wait, 15,000 endo bundles, Orokin catalysts and credits. New players don't need endgame Archon shards yet, they need formas, endo and catalysts to upgrade their gear. So while veterans fight for glory and legendary cores, new players get rich of war supplies and directly help save the planet. Everyone wins. So let's talk about loot, because if we are risking a 30-day planet lockdown and a Domino-Effect invasion on Neptune, there was need to be god tier. For veterans on steel path frontlines, scenario A, victory reward, guaranteed legendary core, exclusive liberator animated armor and ephemeras that pulls with void defense energy, Umbra forma blueprints and universal stance formas, unique incarnate genesis adapter features or specialized weapon augments, a custom dojo trophy and orbiter emblem for the top 1% clan on the global event leaderboard. For new players running supply raids, pre-built formas, ready to use instantly, bye-bye 23-hour foundry timer, 15,000 endo packages to max out prime mods, and Orokin Catalyst and React. Tell me that doesn't sound 100 times more exciting than running the same old Fisher mission for the 1000th time. I already know exactly what the comment section is going to look like right now. Half of you are typing furiously on your keyboards going, "Sir Lauren, this sounds awesome on paper, but what about the problem X? You're going to break the game." Relax, calm down, take a sip of water and hear me out. I've actually thought this through. Obviously not every problem, but before we wrap up this massive yapping session, let's go through 4 of my biggest concerns with the system like this and how DE can easily handle them without setting their offices on fire. First problem, what about brand new players who need to do quests or unlock star chart nodes on that planet? Well, this is the most obvious one. If Pluto or Earth gets completely locked down for 30 days, a brand new player who joined 3 days ago literally can not clear their star chart. They can't do the second dream, they can't progress their junctions, and they're trapped. The solution, the quarantined story pass. It's super simple. Quests and junctions, get an emergency story pass. If you're a new player progressing through the main story, those specific quest nodes and junctions remain unlocked if you are strictly in solo story mode. You can't farm resources, you can't run cracks or dark sector farming on that planet, but you can complete your story quest and move on to the next planet. Boom, newbie progress is completely safe, while the planet remains in lockdown for global farm. Second problem, what if DE spaghetti code bugs out and we lose everything because of server crashes? We all know and love Warframe, but we also know the classic DE spaghetti code. What happens if it's the final day of the event, the server crashes, host migration eats everyone's progress, or an acolyte clips into the floor and locks the mission? Are we really going to lose a whole planet because of a bug? The solution, the fail-safe armistice protocol. If a major service outage or catastrophic game-breaking bug occurs during the event, an automatic emergency armistice triggers. The event timer gets extended by 48 hours and the community is compensated with a progress booster. We should only lose a planet if we're genuinely lazy and incompetent as a community, not because host migration decided to eat our 3-hour run for breakfast. Third problem, won't this create a toxic gatekeeping in matchmaking? Because the stakes are so ridiculously high and you only get 1 revive per run, people might get terrified of random players running their sector defense and you'll see recruiting chat full of have Frontline war, MR30 only, 5 forma meta builds or kick. The solution, dynamic squad vanguard buffs. Instead of punishing squads for bringing lower gear players, the game should reward you for queuing with public teams. If a high MR player carries a low MR player or matches with randoms, the entire squad gets Vanguard Shield modifier, giving everyone an extra revive charge or damage resistance. Suddenly, veterans aren't gatekeeping, they're actually looking to carry newer players because it makes the mission safer for everyone. Toxic gatekeeping completely neutralized. Fourth problem, what if I'm on vacation and miss the whole event? Of course, people are gonna say, Sir Lauren, what if I'm on vacation for a week, come back and Pluto is locked for 30 days? That's not fair. To that I say, well, fuck it, Tenno, that's life. Look, I haven't been online for every single event in Warframe history either. I missed operation, I missed events, it happens. At some point you just have to trust the rest of the community to hold the line while you're away, drinking cocktails on the beach. And hey, if you come back and Pluto is locked down for 30 days, that just means you log back in, you have a massive epic liberation war waiting for you on Nep. That's what makes Living Galaxy map actually exciting. Now, I know this is a massive ambitious concept, and obviously I'm just one guy yapping in my orbit. So if you want to help me flesh this idea even further, or if you want to tell me why this is totally impossible and I'm out of my mind, I want you to go wild in the comments below. Tell me, how would you design the invasion mechanics? What crazy words would you add? How would you handle planet lockdowns? Let's turn the comment section into a full-on game design workshop. Let's cook up some insane god tier concepts together, so maybe, just maybe, someone at DE sees this and realizes what we're missing the end. Go crazy down below, let's get a real discussion going. And that, my friends, is the end of today's 20-minute yapping session. I think I'm even quicker than that, yeah, that's what she said. I genuinely believe Warframe needs new content that is endlessly fun to play, like Predator Rebellion, content that gives players a reason to push for MR30 and Steel Path, and events where losing actually carries real consequences, like losing Pluto for a month and fighting off a domino invasion on Neptune. Like I said earlier, DE, if you need someone to help write, design or test this, my DMs are wide open and I will volunteer for free. Now I'm handing the mic over to you guys in the comments. Let's yap in the comments below. If you made it all the way to the end of this rant, you are certified legend. Smash that like button, subscribe to support the channel, keep those boundaries cooking 23 hours a day, and I'll see you guys in the Origin system. See ya.